Oh, look at that. It is now 7 on the dot.
Oh, yay. I'm on my personal as well.
Oh. Whoops. All right, there we are. We are now live.
All right. We're still trying to get situated. I'm trying to get settled. I'm on mine looking for my notification. I don't see it. So I'm just going to trust you. We just have yours. All right. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for being here. We want to talk about something that's near and dear to our heart today. We're going to talk about, as a couple, how we became aligned, how we got to the point where we could create this Mimi and Poppy's place, this barn, this farm, this homestead, this journey that we're on. And it's about alignment. And also wanted to say that it's not just about like how do you and your partner, right? How do you from a relationship standpoint, you don't have to be in a relationship to it's about following your dream, it's about trusting your gut, and it's about taking chances and following your heart, really.
Yeah, it's a big leap. It's a big leap to change a lifestyle, and it's an even bigger leap to try to bring along someone with it.
Right. So we were going to start with the early days. So really being a little vulnerable here, talking about like our different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
When we met, I had 3 kids and a mother that lived with me, and I
had a Lhasa Apso dog. That's it. Just me and my dog.
So I was a manager at Lowe's. And I was just trying to make ends meet, just working serious, being responsible and making sure I could put food on the table.
I was responsible as well, but also financially irresponsible, because as she was trying to make ends meet with 3 children and a mother living with her, I lived in a house with roommates. I had a dog. I was an E5 in the Coast Guard at the time, and if I had $30, $40 left and tomorrow was payday, let's go out to eat, let's go do this, and that's how I lived.
Right. I like to joke and say, no mama dollar, no papa dollar. Didn't rub them together and have baby dollars. No, wasn't worried about saving anything. And I was, just trying to make ends meet and couldn't save anything. So, the struggle was real.
So it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah. So we get together, and of course, homesteading and farming is not
nowhere near
on our radar.
Nowhere near our radar.
Yeah, at all. We're raising a family now. We're a blended family. And we get to the point, like we talked about last week, in 2012, when it was kind of like the perfect storm. And, we watch some videos and it sways me into, yeah, okay, let's do a little backyard chickens. Mm-hmm. Let's do a side yard garden. So we're, gardening. We're learning how to can. Yep. We have the chickens.
And by learning how to can, we canned a few things out of our garden. But we were mostly like picking blackberries on the side of the road or buying the flats of strawberries from the local you pick it place and things like that. That's what we started our teeth on with canning.
Yeah, but still, I'm the realist. You know, I come from a background where I was trying to be responsible, and
We also call that the fun police.
where, you know, I got to make sure we can make ends meet, you know, doing finances, fun police, so be it. And you know, you are more of the dreamer. You're the big picture guy. You have a dream. You don't know how we're going to get there, but when you get a dream in your head, you know,
You give it, in other words, a dog has a bone he don't want to let go.
so still, even though, you know, we're like, okay, we're going to do a little gardening. We're going to do a little chicken raising in the backyard. We'll have some backyard chickens. Was not looking for a homestead.
Right. Not at the time, but we had the backyard chickens. We had the side yard garden. We were starting to can. We were going to a local place right across the state line called Charlie's You Pick It. And at the time, I think it was $10 per 5-gallon bucket. Do not touch that phone.
I'm not touching anything.
It was $10 for a 5-gallon bucket, and we go there and get tomatoes and cucumbers and all kinds of things. And come back and we were averaging like, I think 40 cents a pound for produce. You know, so it was great. So we were doing that. We started dabbling in
Wait, I got
rabbits.
a story. Charlie's You Pick It. Remember the first time we ever got okra?
Okay, we didn't get okra. I went and got okra. I've never picked okra a day in my life.
Oh, we
Louisiana
look
gumbo.
at all these big okras. Why are all the big okras still here? Come on, let's go.
I was like, her mother, South Louisiana, they're doing the gumbo thing. I never ate okra a day in my life. I'm like, oh man, these okra are huge. I'm getting all these. So I'm getting okra literally like 12 inches long. Some of them 8 inches long. Big, huge, hardy okra. I had no idea that they were really okra logs at that point.
Woody.
Yeah, couldn't eat a single one of them.
That was a whole 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah. $10 worth of
nothing you could
little
eat.
tree stumps is what it was. But once again,
live and learn.
Just to show we don't do everything right. We learn from our mistakes. That's how this whole thing goes, is we evolve and we learn. A simple Google would have probably told you. But no, they were there, and I was snatching them right off the plant. Right. But we had the garden, we had the chickens. We started to dabble in backyard rabbits, because that was a good meat source, a lean meat source, a quick meat source. Rabbits. Once you breed rabbits, 12 weeks after they're born, 12 weeks you can start harvesting rabbits. A lot of meat. So we were dabbling in that, and in my mind, the next evolution was to actually find some land and to try to homestead.
Dreamer.
That wasn't the next step in her mind.
That wasn't my dream. We were, so like we had the chickens, and now what? So we've got a kind of. Still, we're not on the same page at this point in our life as far as like what our end goals were going to be. And we'd do things like, you'd take me on drives on Sundays. We'd go, whether it be grocery shopping, and we'd go all the way to the next county over, country drive, beautiful, fun. We'd look at property. It's like, I got something to show you. Right. We've even walked on property.
Yeah, we walked several properties that were nobody living on them. They were undeveloped land, had driveways going through them, or roads going through them. We'd walk a little bit of property, and I would we'd go on these little Sunday drives, relaxing, great, like we pick a beautiful day, and I would have all these addresses, going through Zillow and Realtor.com and all these other places, and I'd have all these addresses listed out. So I'd have like a route that I had them numbered, so we'd go to this one, then this one, and just go on a little drive. And she was still not up for it, but she was up for a little just nice peaceful drive, going out in the country. And we started looking at some of these properties, and the realist over here kept saying, we don't have money for this. We don't have money for that. How much is it? We don't have money for that.
That was my favorite phrase, but I was just being real.
And yeah, she kept saying, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for that. But then, so she wasn't on board really, but she liked to go for the drive. But once again, if you saw our last live, how I wooed her to the way of the backyard chickens by showing her a few videos of chicken cruelty, by getting her out on these properties. We would walk these properties, see things like if they had an area clear, I was like, oh, that could be a home site. This could be this. And she started seeing potential because she can do that. She's the one, sidetrack. When we bought this property, she designed a master plan and drew out a master plan for our entire 13 acres. And we've pretty much stuck to it. That's how we've been able to keep everything aligned where it is.
Oh, and he was against that?
Parts of it.
So against me making a master plan. But once we had it, it was kind of one of the best things we ever did.
But with that, she would go to these properties. We'd go to these properties. She'd look at it, and we would go look at some and be like, oh, well, this has 10 acres, but only like 1 acre of it is dry. The rest of it drops down, into a bog, into a mosquito bog. So it was like, that's no good for us. So we would go to another one and we would see an aspect of that property. Well, now she's starting to get on board because now she can see a design in a homestead in what we were looking at. And she started changing her mindset a little bit as we went.
Yeah.
By once again, just getting her out there and us going on these wonderful drives where we spent our time together. We were together. We were looking at this together. We did the backyard chickens together.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the homestead together. Everything we've done, we have been aligned. We have done together. We didn't start out aligned. There were things I gave up. There were things that she compromised on. But that was the whole point, is aligning ourselves to be able to succeed.
Well, and it doesn't matter if you have a partner or not. If you're, you can be alone, and just to have a dream and to just really hone in on what you want, like to know what you want is a great gift. I would say that you are very persistent, and you have wooed me into doing lots of things that maybe I wouldn't have done. I don't think that I would have been courageous enough I wasn't looking for property. I wasn't shopping Zillow or anything else like that. I wouldn't have gone that far. I mean, the dream was nice and I was on board, and we were immersing ourselves in homesteading videos.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd watch all kinds of videos and like, what would we do? What would you do different?
Mm-hmm.
We live in this kind of area. We wouldn't need to do that. We'd have something like this. And he'd get me going in these conversations, and it would really like open up my mind and think, oh, what if we did have this? What if we did have property? What if we did have acreage? What if we did have a barn? What if we did have livestock? It started to feel like my dream too.
And still she was, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for that because if you've ever looked at trying to buy land, it is different than trying to buy a home. With a home, you can look at certain grants and FHA, if it's rural USDA loans where you don't have to do any money down, all these different things. Land is not like that. Land is not like that at all. When you buy land, the way we were having to do it is 20% down no matter what. And so she kept saying, we don't have money for that. And as far as looking, I looked in the seat cushions of my truck. I looked in the seat cushions of the couch, and I still couldn't find 20% down. But she just kept saying that. Well, then we found this property. the property we're currently on now.
Right.
And I found this property, and if you, the little tip, when you're looking on realtor.com or anything like that, and undeveloped land does not have an address. So it will say like 0 Smith Road, 36608 gives you a zip code. So if it says 0 Smith Road and there's no address, it sends that parcel to the middle. It won't put it on the right road. It'll send it to the middle of that zip code. We found that out because the road we were on now, this wasn't the address for it. It would say 0, and it would put it in the middle of the zip code. I'm like, there's no road named that anywhere around there. Well, just so happened, I knew a guy from late in the late 1900s I used to play softball with. He lives a few doors down, and we've been to his house before. So I knew this road, knew the name of this road. So I drove down it, found the for sale sign, looked at it, and was like, oh, this looks good. I pulled up a topo map. And that's important to know, people. Pull up a topo map of any property you're looking at, and saw that there was good ground. It went down into water. At the time, I had a different drone, and I went up and I flew the property, looked at it, and was like, this is good property, and the price was great. What else did we do? Google Earth. Yeah, looked at Google Earth, looked at all kinds of satellite images. Okay, so now I got my ducks in a row, and this property was at a song. So I took it to her. And the first thing she said is, I laid out my cards, people. I laid it all out. I put everything out. And she says,
we don't have money for that. But he showed me his drone footage. And something about this property, that was kind of a turning point for me, for us. I have a friend who's a realtor, and you don't have to have a friend who's a realtor. You could just call up whoever's on the sign and say, I want you to show me this property. But I had a friend who was a realtor, and I said, I want you to show me this property because we couldn't walk on it.
Yeah.
It said no trespassing.
It said specifically on it, no, you're not allowed on the property without an agent, without a realtor.
So she arranged that for us, and we walked through this property, and it was all grown up, and there was nothing here, and half of it is wooded, and half of it wasn't. And
the half that wasn't was all Kogan grass and briars and saplings.
Mm-hmm. And something clicked. I knew right there that we had to get this property. So look out, right? Look out when Mimi gets on board and Mimi gets a mission oriented,
right? Because at the time we still didn't have money for this.
Right. We didn't have money for this. So we, went home, did a budget, crunched some numbers. My next thing after saying we didn't have money for this was act like you have no money. Don't spend any money. Act like you don't have any money. We had to do some things. We talked to a bank
that the realtor put us on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a local small bank, and we mean like small. Like, I'm not going to say it's a mom and pop, but it felt like a mom and pop bank. It wasn't a credit union. It was a bank.
Yeah, and that's also a great step if you're dreaming about having a homestead and you think, I don't have money for that, I can't do that. It doesn't cost anything to go and have an appointment, make an appointment with somebody, and just have your finances available, like know what your expenses are, and
lay it out to them. Don't try to hide anything. Don't try to make things look good, because it's all going to come out. Just put it out there to them, and they'll say yes, no.
Here's what
you need to clean this up.
Right. We worked with someone phenomenal, and she was like, this is where you need to be as far as debt to income ratio, and you're not there. And hey, all you got to do is put me on a mission, and I'm like, I will get there. And I did. I made it happen. And She was like, when you come back to me, you know, when you're at that ratio, then we can work something out. It's easy. It's you've got this. We can do this.
Let's put it this way. We saw the listing within 1 week of it being listed. It was listed with a different agent prior for like a year and a half. No one knew. It got listed with a different agent, obviously more promotion maybe. We saw it within a week. Within a month of us seeing this with our realtor walking it and meeting with that person and Mimi putting her mind to it and doing what we need to do and finding a way, we had a contract on this property in 30 days.
Right. We had the money for this.
We just had to find it.
Right. Yeah. And so I would say, you know, it took real communication and it took trust before we actually got to this point. Trust in, you know, sharing dreams and sharing, you know, what you want. And, you know, making it work.
So real quick. Hello, Knight's Poultry. Hello, Valerie. Thank y'all. Hello, David. And then Joel with Potter Farms. He says, another good tip about land. Another good tip. Visit the land after some good rain.
Right.
He said his wife and him, Gene and I, looked at a place that looked lovely, but was really a swamp. And that's a big key because right now in our area right now we are really praying for some rain. We are really dry, and but that was another thing. That was the whole thing with the topo map. Looking at a topo map, so we know that from one end of the property where we come in to the very back end drops 65 feet. Now it seems like it's a lot, but it's a long ways back. But it drops 65 feet into springs that feed another lake. So we have springs on the property. It drops down, and yeah. So I would definitely say what Joel's tip: look at it after rain. Look at it at a topo map, because if you go look at it and you're not looking at a topo map, and topographic maps show you the terrain, the lines in the terrain. So your home site could be in a low lying area of that you really don't realize it. It might not look it, but it just might be just a foot or two down. That means all the water is going to rush down to you. Right.
And I want to say at one point we looked at 5 acres, but less than an acre was buildable.
Yeah, it was 7 acres. So if anybody knows, on price of land around here has gone up drastically. So where now just rural land around here in the middle of nowhere is $10,000 an acre. The closer you get to towns, it's $15,000 an acre and plus. And at the time, it wasn't quite there yet, but this property was $5,000 an acre. I was like, whoa, that's a great. Did the whole topo map thing. I was like, this doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. Go, and I looked at it, not with her, but I went and looked at it, and it had about 1 acre of the 7, about 1 acre of buildable property. That's for the home, any type of structure, barn, well, septic system, everything. You know, and it dropped off into an actual wetland, a delineated wetland, which means you can't touch that. So, yeah. So really, So really, it was like it was going to be $35,000 for a lot. Really, you're going to pay taxes on something you couldn't do with. So yeah, good tip, Joel. Yeah. Didn't even think about that. Like after the rain, where we're blessed up here, water runs down. We have a sandy soil. We could get 3 inches of rain in 10, 15 minutes. There's not a puddle on this property.
Any other good questions?
Oh, see, I was going to talk about this. We were actually going to do a whole other video on this. But Joel said also look at Street View and Google Earth's ability to look back in time.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So I went back. So we bought this.
All the way back to 97, right?
97. We bought this property in 2019. And I was able to look back at Google Earth satellite photos of this property all the way back to 1997, into the last century. And the reason why I did that too is, like Joel alluded to, with environmental concerns such as rain, swamp, flood, things like that. My background is hazmat. illegal dumping, things like that. I've done work with the EPA and stuff like that for stuff. And so I was looking for something that all of a sudden one year popped up in the woods, like some little white mark in the woods or some discolorment, on the property that would make me want to go investigate that to see if anybody was dumping a little, you get the people that old tire shop dump tires, dump batteries and things like that. And then you as the landowner would have to pay to have all that recovered and disposed of properly. So we went back, what is that, almost 3 decades to look at that to make sure that was not the case here. Because once you buy the property, it's yours. Timothy asks, what were your original goals in buying your property, and how has it changed since you bought it and moved in? Well, our original goals here was just to be homestead. And it's funny he says that because that was actually one of our things on here.
Yeah, it was.
We had a different mindset when we bought this property. And I'll tell you what my mindset was.
No, wait.
Okay.
Let me say, this is us first getting the property, we had nothing. I did a sketch of, blueprint of what I thought this place could be for us, a homestead. And
a master plan.
I made the master plan.
And I will tell you, if you buy property, and even if it's already got a house and a barn on it, make a master plan. Build yourself. It can always be changed. You can always tweak it, but make a master plan. Because if not,
we'll have to put out our master plan.
Yeah, it's like playing Yahtzee.
We'll have to update it. Like I'll have to make another blueprint. But I did to scale as best I could for not being an architect. Mapped out our homestead, our home site. I had a pen that was big enough for one steer. What did I say? We could do up to
2 pigs or something down in the bottom.
2 pigs in the bottom, 6 sheep. With the acreage, it was like 1 steer
sheep
and
or
6
goats.
sheep. Yeah. So we already planned, if we're moving out here on this property, 13 acres, and half of it was wooded and half of it was not, that we were going to homestead, and we knew that. Have a steer, have a few sheep or goat, have some pigs, try our hand at, some different livestock, where we were going to put the barn. Like I did all of that.
And I was like, and on some of it, I was like, yes, no. And the reason why is because we'll have to show y'all one day. Her master plan in the very back part of our property had a little area for a tiny home village. We're homesteading. She's talking about a tiny home village to bring people out. Right. And as Timothy had asked, what was our mindset? Here was my mindset. I did 20 years in a life-saving service, U.S. Coast Guard, saving people. Look, that's what the service is for. I didn't do that. I was the environmental side, but still dealing with people, the public, the environment, things like that. And I wanted to homestead and come out here, and we picked a rural piece that is not within a paved road because I wanted to get away from people. I would have been fine.
So you thought?
I would have been fine just to sit out here and homestead. Our whole goal with homesteading was to be able to provide as much as we could for ourselves. There's no salt mine out here, so we would have to go buy salt. There's no, we don't have wheat, so we'd have to go buy some wheat. But we were going to try to provide as much. I don't make
wheat.
I don't make Wranglers, so we'd have to buy Wranglers. So there's no Wrangler tree. So we would, had to buy stuff, but we were going to try to provide as much as we could. And I was going to leave the property as little as I could. And I was not going to have as little to do with the outside world as we could. 6 years later, furthest from the truth.
Social butterfly he is.
Who knew? I just need to come out here and pupate. But yeah. So then we actually,
well, we knew we were going to be a homestead.
Yeah, and we came out here, and to go along with our little agenda here, and I will get to the latter part of your question, Timothy. We go to come out here, and with our thing of being able to buy the property is we had to sell the house. And 2,000 square foot house, 3/4 of an acre lot, older neighborhood, large big trees. We closed in the 2-car garage to make it a mud room and like a big, huge 13 by 19 bonus room. We put a closet in, made it a big, huge, classified as a bedroom. So it's 4-bedroom house. And we moved out of that onto the property into a 26-foot camper that we had just to go camping in with 3 dogs at the time. 3 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 dogs. We now have 7, so I had to keep track. With 3 dogs. So a 26-foot camper, 3 dogs. I'm retired. She's still working. And yeah, we moved out here full time to live on the property in a camper.
Right.
Even though we had a 2,000 square foot house. And I will tell you, that was the best decision. If we'd have stayed in the house and tried to work this property, there would have been the days that we were off. Be like, oh, well, let's just stay home. We, nice, comfortable brick house, everything, every amenity possible we could have. Fenced in yard just to let the dogs out and not worry about. Watch TV.
Well,
we wouldn't have came out here and worked.
I will say, me being the realist, I was doing the money. And when we decided to buy this property, we now had a loan, a property loan, and we had a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And, doing numbers, and I was like, okay, we've got to get over here and we've got to sell that house. And I teach. So, my summers are free somewhat. And, until we got this place, my summers are free. And so I made a plan for us.
Yep.
And I was like, we talked about moving here. Could we move, or are we going to build first? And, we needed to get out of that mortgage. So I'm like, okay, no, we're moving into the camper June 1st. Soon as school's out, we wrapped up. June 1st, we're moving out here. We are not staying over there anymore. If we're here, we need to be here. And then we needed to do what we could to get that house sold. Because then my next goal was, if we don't sell this house by the end of summer, we're going down. We're not going to make it.
So when we talk about alignment in the beginning, that's our alignment. Is people that ask me, so we had to move out here June 1st. So when we closed on the property in April, I had from about the 3rd week of April, maybe later, to June 1st to get this area, the home site cleared, to get the power company to come out and assess how we would get power in, to get a well installed, a septic installed, to get then to have the power installed. And then I'd hand dug a 258-foot trench to be able to run the power to the well. And I had to have all this done in just over a month.
Right. Which, a shameless plug for YouTube. You have that video. Yep. We have videos of that. The area we got mulched.
Yep.
Because it was just where the home site is. It was just woods. You dig in the trench.
Yeah, digging the trench, hand digging that trench. Rent a trencher. Rent. Go collect cans on the side of the road to pay for it. It doesn't matter. Rent a trencher.
Oh yeah, you could never do that today.
No, I can't do that now. But we did all that, and then we moved out here full time in June. And people ask me, and this goes back to the alignment. People ask me, how did you get your wife to move out of a 2,000 plus square foot brick and mortar home in a neighborhood, yard, all that, and move into a camper full time? And my only answer is because we had the same goals.
That's same goals.
So if you have a partner and you're trying to do this, and you and your partner are not aligned with anything, not just homesteading, if you and your partner are not aligned with how to run the house, how to build a house, where you want to go on vacation, how you want to live your life, how you want to raise your children, if you and your partner are not aligned in any aspect of your life together, it's not going to work.
Right.
Or I'm not saying the relationship's not going to work. That area that you're not aligned in is not going to work. You can be aligned in all these different areas, but this one, it's not going to work.
And I will say, it's not like we sound like the perfect couple. No way. No way. We're
no. We're like one or two notches down from that.
For perfect.
Yeah.
We are in no way perfect, and we've had some strife, especially being a blended family. Oh my gosh, how much we've gone through and grown. But I will say that we are best friends, and that we have, and
that's the true thing. Not like people say, "Oh, my best friend, happy birthday." No. We're best friends. We love spending our time together.
Yeah, we love doing things together. And just when I cannot be at work and be with you, just palling around, like that is, we love it. And good communication and absolute trust. Like, oh my gosh, if you don't trust, trust and communication is how we've gotten. Do what?
So that's it.
Right. Yeah. That was the last thing. Sacrifice, physical and financial.
She made the agenda. I was trying to see where we were.
All right. What else we got for questions? I want to know if you are still with us, are you a dreamer or a realist?
So, and well, I think there's a third option there, because there's for the longest time, we were dreamers. So there's the dreamers, realists, there's the, hey, yeah, we could do this, and there's no way we can because of this. But we watched a lot of YouTube, and this is our shameless plug here, because this is straight from our YouTube channel, Mimi and Poppy's Place. I just uploaded today our first 2025 video. Finally got to it. So we started January 1st with our YouTube, and I have uploaded 6 years worth of videos in 4 months.
This guy here.
So
he has been trying to get me on board, and he's been videoing ever since he got it in his head that he wanted to do.
Well, then I wanted to promote
YouTube channel that you wanted to do.
At first, it was just documenting what we did. So when you go to the 2019, 2020, they're pretty choppy. It's a lot of voiceovers because it was just our own documentation for us, and then a little mind shift to Facebook and a little mind shift later on. So I think the videos get better. Hope they get better. But yeah, she didn't want any part of that. She, do not take a picture of me. I look ugly. I'm haggard. My hair's a mess. I got bedhead. Now look at her. She's live.
Look at me go.
But yeah, so are you a dreamer or are you a realist? But I think there's a third option. Is it, are you ready to do this, but you're just concerned? I don't want to say afraid. You're concerned to make that step because of failure. Because that's what we did. We decided, I had worked in different places after I retired and everything. And, I was in environmental side of the house, helping to take care of wetlands and woodlands. I was actually an instructor, teacher at a 2-year community college. Later became a department chair there. And yeah, so I went from department chair, at a 2-year college to wearing overalls and feeding sheep. So,
Yay.
But the thing is with that, is that a dreamer or is that a realist that just had to take a step? They had to take that scary step. If any of y'all ever change jobs, you got that steady pay, that steady income, but there's a little bit better job, and it's kind of scary. We get used to what we're doing, and it's a very scary leap to even change jobs. So if you're changing an entire lifestyle, and you're doing it with someone, that's a big step. That's a scary step.
It is, yeah. Yeah, but you're not alone, so it helps if you're doing it together. And you give me courage a lot of times because you'll jump in feet first sometimes. You'll jump in.
The reason why I give her courage because she's got to throw the life ring.
But so I would say we've also had the conversation back to Timothy's question about what were our goals and stuff. We always knew we wanted to homestead, but and homesteading is just providing for yourself. But
Yep.
we've also had kind of an epiphany
We have.
about we are evolving as a homestead, and we are now feel like we are more
We're reclassified.
a farmstead.
Yep.
A farmstead because we are providing for ourselves, but
We're also purposefully providing for others. So, with Timothy's a good friend of ours, and I would call his a homestead. He's like, no, we're a farm. And so he told me, their intention was to be able to sell off property. They have it's Humble Shack Farms. So if y'all look up Humble Shack Farms, they have goats. They have matter of fact, they have a milking goat in milk right now for sale. So if you're looking for a little Nigerian, I think it's a Nigerian dwarf, you can have a goat in your house right now milking it, getting
not
fresh goat
not
milk.
literally in your house, but
Look, be a dreamer. But they do goats, they do sheep. They were recently selling turkeys. They are hatching out chickens, selling ducks, duck egg. I think they had some hatching duck eggs as well at one time. Timothy, correct me if I'm wrong.
right.
But Humble Shack Farms, yeah. But matter of fact, our second, when we bought 9 more sheep this year, we actually bought our sheep from them. But he's the one that would tell me, he's like, no, we're a farm, because our intention is to use our property and all what we're doing to make money, as commerce, as a business. And us, when we first started, it was just homestead.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to provide for ourselves, can for ourselves. When we got into sheep, it was just, hey, yeah, we're going to do the sheep. And that was just to provide for ourselves. And it was, and then sheep math happened just like chicken math. And we had a few extra, so we would be able to provide for ourselves. But then we had a few extra, so then we would just sell them, just sell them to whoever wanted them, and that was it. It's like, oh, maybe this paid for our hay or whatnot. We did the same thing with pigs, and then it evolved. And just this past fall in 2024, we decided because people had asked us numerous times if we sell our meat, to give that a shot. And so now we are purposefully raising sheep for market. We're purposefully raising pork for market, which means we are no longer classified as a homestead. And then a couple of people comments, a friend of mine, Chet, had comments like, what's the difference in a farm? What makes you a farm?
Yeah, he said, at what point do you go from homestead to farm?
Yeah, to farm. And so all this is just tickling our minds. It's like, well,
now, Chet, now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now, Chet, now we're a farm. And so we just started thinking of this, and then we looked at farmstead, and a farmstead is a homestead that we're not like a full-fledged farm, because I kept thinking of farm as like a ranch, like, you are a cattle farm or ranch. You are a farm that produces cotton and sells and things like that. So we're a farmstead, which we're providing for ourselves, but we are still providing enough to be able to purposely sell to the community or for commerce.
Nia commented, she said she's a dreamer, but I have to be sure I'm called to it.
Right. That, and that's the thing. And Nia, how do you know if you're called to it? Or anybody else out there? If you're a dreamer, how do you know if you're called to it? Is it divine intervention? Is it a coincidence? Is it the right place, the right time? Is it your phone listening to you and starts showing you all those reels? Because I was a dreamer and she was a realist, and I guess with us working together, like she said, aligning, she helped the dream come to life, and I helped maybe spark that idea in her being the dreamer.
Mm-hmm, right. Tyra Marlborough said, we want to do this, and we thought we were headed that way. Her son bought property, and I remember seeing videos of you guys helping him clear the land. Yeah. She said, but things have changed, but she loves watching us and keep on getting it. We're trying.
And that's the thing, things do change. I knew a person that was into bees, I met him after we got bees. I actually have him and the guy that we got the bees from, because I would ask them questions. They were my mentors, and or still are, because I'll still ask questions. And I just had them in my Facebook Messenger as Shane's bee support team. But and things change. He had sold his bees. He'd got out of beekeeping. He was having a baby. They lived on a lot of land, and priorities change, things change, and doesn't mean that they're not coming back. But yeah, I mean our lifestyle changes. We bought this property in 2019. What happened the next year? The plague. So it was, like she talked about the perfect storm about us getting chickens. It was a perfect storm to be able to get out here, move out here, sell the house before the market. And going back to the selling the house and this, we got the house up that summer, got it ready. Realtor calls us, says it is the sale is live, the MLS is live. We got to see it. She took all these pictures, like, oh wow, that place looks great, looks better than what we had. And we had an offer for asking price, and they were giving us $5,000 for closing costs within 27 hours.
Yeah.
That was back before the plague.
Yeah. And I said we needed to sell the place before the summer's end or we were going under. And 27 hours later, we got an offer.
Now, is that a dreamer? Is that a realist? Or is that just divine intervention?
Mm-hmm.
I'd go with the latter. I'd go with it was God's plan to give us this and grant this to us,
mm-hmm.
to allow us to keep doing what we're doing.
And then the day that everything locked down was the day you actually went to the auction and got
sheep.
We were gonna possibly get goats. We were thinking goats.
Mm-hmm.
Originally we would do either.
Yep.
And because being a realist, I didn't want to go too big. Like we got to see if we can keep them alive first. I don't know about that. I don't know how to take care of a goat or a sheep. And I'd heard really bad things about sheep.
Yeah, that's another video.
Right.
That's a whole nother why series.
Yeah, why we got sheep, or why we still have sheep. But yeah.
But let's see. Yeah. Tara says she's a dreamer. David left another friend of ours. Oh yeah, then chicken math kicked into overdrive. It did. So our last live, we talked about chickens. We got up to chickens, 6 chickens, and
you can never have too many chickens.
Yeah. So now we have like 30 plus chickens. I just hatched out. We have 15 more out there in our brooder right now, producing tons of eggs and whatnot. So yeah, chicken math. Then I actually counted today. So when we first started out, when we moved out here, we had maybe a dozen chickens. When we first moved out here, we brought our chicken coop out here. We had maybe a dozen chickens, and we had 3 dogs. So that's what, 12, 3, 15. We had 15 animals that we had to feed and keep alive on this homestead. We now have just over 100. In 6 years, we have over 100 animals.
David said, "Don't tell Amber
that we keep alive." I'll just drop chickens off at y'all's place. Just throw them over.
Yeah.
Don't know where they came from.
Throw them over the fence.
Yeah. Hope you like roosters. All right, so we're done with our point. It was alignment and why we're homestead and how we got started. Anybody have any questions?
Questions, or
if you've been with us the whole time,
some people are saying we're dreamers.
Yeah.
Or they're saying they're dreamers. Do you have a dream of something that you are wanting to do, and maybe you haven't told anybody yet? You could just say yes or no.
Yeah.
Or
you could tell everybody now.
Or if you want to tell us what your dream is, we'd love to hear it.
It doesn't have to be homesteading. Hey, you want to open up a studio? Hey, right. You want to be an artist? Hey,
you want to buy a house?
Get a restaurant? Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, are you living in an apartment? Your dreaming is just to have a backyard. Have yourself a little garden, flower garden. Doesn't matter. But let us know if you've been with us this long. Give us emoji. Let's see. Last time you picked the chicken emoji. So what do you want to do now?
Joel said Gina never stops breeding chickens. I have to check under every flower pot to make sure she isn't hiding broody mamas with babies. Oh, just Gina's our people.
Right, Gina's our people.
Oh.
Gina and Joel's our people.
Tyra's got some dreams. Not saying what it is.
Not saying what it is, but good. Mate, well, you never know. Maybe this will be a catalyst to foster some more dreams, and maybe look at making dreams a reality.
Right. Be brave.
So, what emoji do you want to give them? You gave them chickens last time.
Oh.
What do you think? Farm tractor, a barn, something homestead wise.
Right.
If you've been with us this long, you've been watching us, give us a little something. Y'all pick. What do you think?
Farm emoji. Some farm emoji.
Yeah, what do you think comes with a farm or homestead emoji? A barn, a house, a silo.
Emily says, I'm a dreamer and I want to foster dogs. That's nice. We've talked about that. We can never foster dogs.
Yeah, we can't foster dogs because we get too attached.
Because we fall in love with them and we would never give them away.
I'm already trying to quail her ambition of getting one per acre.
Oh, Nia's got a random question.
Okay.
I saw you mention in another video about your honey and oat soap might be good for dogs with allergies. Want to know before I order? Yes. Oatmeal honey soap, which is our Hall & Oates bar. That was the bar we made for our grandbaby with eczema. And it would be good for dogs with sensitive skin.
Allergies.
Allergies, yeah.
We know people that their dogs, that like, you might know people or you might have a dog that has to go to the vet to get an allergy shot, things like that. So some of the commercial flea and tick shampoo or just maybe if you just bathe them in your shampoo, they still might react to them because it's chemicals. Harsh
helps to, it just irritates already dry skin just if you're using over-the-counter stuff. But Hall & Oates.
And I'll say that this is another plug. Go to our website.
Shameless plug?
Yes. Go to our website at mimiandpoppysplace.com. Sign up for our newsletter because in just less than a week, few short days, our May newsletter will be coming out, and we'll be discussing dogs in our newsletter and what we have and what we offer that is made on our homestead that might help them.
Yes. Emily said that's the scary part, to be the foster and have to give it up. Yeah, we couldn't do it.
Wouldn't happen. Happen. Look, the last two dogs we have, is he in there?
Nope, he's not in there.
All right, one's back here. Actually, she's passed out right up under y'all. The other one is somewhere else. There were two. Y'all seen them? Two puppies that were dumped still had puppy breath on our dirt road out in the woods, left to fend for themselves. We have bobcats, we have coyotes, foxes. They still had puppy breath. They were tiny, and we took them in, and we were going to try to find them homes.
That made our number 6 and number 7, and we never got rid of them.
Yeah, number 5 was also a dump that we tried to find a home for. That'd be Daisy. She's still here. Once we put $1 on them, they're ours.
Right. Emily said, my dog has sensitive skin, and Mimi and Poppy's Place soap has made a world of difference. Emily, we love you. You're such our biggest fan, and we love you for that. Tyra gave us lots of emojis. Nia gave us a tractor. Oh no, I just switched to the dirt road. Joel said dirt road dogs are the best. We have 3, right? Only now I've told him we're cut off.
Yeah, we can't
limit. We can't have any more. Really, now we have a pack of dogs.
Yeah,
and we have to manage them.
Don't by managing
7.
them, when we go to the vet, the vet doesn't see actual dogs on the weekend as far as like making appointments. They make us an appointment.
Right. They schedule the morning for us so we can have everybody taken care of.
Because otherwise it takes me 4 days to bring everybody in, like 2 at a time, whatnot. So, so we go in with 7 dogs at once. They schedule us on a Saturday morning. And, that's a vet bill. Let me tell you.
Emily said, love y'all so much. I'm so inspired by y'all.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Emily. You inspire us too.
Yeah, in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, to not keep rambling on, I have no idea how long we've been on live. But
Oh yeah.
but I can see it's gotten dark outside. But we're just going to go ahead and call it. If you're just now watching it, go back, watch us over again. If you're seeing this not live, but you're seeing it afterwards, you can still comment, still ask questions.
Give us
We're
some
going to
love.
we're going to be watching it. We're going to be monitoring it, and we're going to be replying. You know, if you have questions, even though we're still not live, it could be tomorrow, whatever. We're still going to reply. We're still going to answer questions. So if you've got them, let us know.
Yeah. And until next time.
Y'all take care.